So now you should be able to hear me. And like I said, today what we're going to be doing is making some salad dressings, a few of them. And one of my favorite ways to make salad dressing, Japanese style, is using umeboshi, which is what I have here. And also with sesame seeds, which we're going to be using for additional flavor and aroma. And if you're wondering what this stuff is here, this is hijiki, mehijiki, which is the shorter kind. And if you've never heard of it before, it's a very Japanese product. It's a type of seaweed, and this is what it looks like. If you've never seen it before, this is the dried stuff. You actually have to reconstitute it in water and let it soak for at least 20 to 30 minutes, depending on the type you're using. So two of the more common types might include mehijiki or nagahijiki, which is really long, and that's why it's called nagahijiki. Nagai is long in Japanese, and after you let it soak, you're going to notice that it's going to more than 8 to 10x in volume. So this was just about a tablespoon, and I usually just rinse it to get off any of the dust or the dirt, and then I let it soak, and then you can rinse it one more time if you'd like before you use it. So here I have some mizuna. This is homegrown, hydroponic of course, and that's going to be the base of our hijiki salad. So we're going to mix in some of the hijiki with the mizuna, and then we're going to make a dressing using the sesame seeds, which have just toasted, some of the umeboshi, and about 3 tablespoons of rice vinegar mixed with 1 tablespoon of usukuchi shoyu, which is light soy sauce. And then we're going to go ahead and process all that in our food processor to give it a nice emulsion, and that's going to be our dressing for the mizuna and hijiki salad. So over here I have some mixed baby greens, and this is what we are using for the other salad. And the ingredients for that dressing, it's going to be 6 tablespoons of lemon juice. We're also going to be doing 6 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil, 1 whole lemon zested, and about 2 tablespoons of shiokoji. So shiokoji is the special ingredient that we are focusing on in the Japanese Cooking Club. All about plant-based Japanese food, by the way. If you want to check it out, make sure to visit the website, JapaneseCookingClub.com, to get on the wait list for the next time it opens. So what we're going to be doing now is, first thing that we can do to make some space is just process the shiokoji dressing in my little measuring cup. And what we're going to be doing is just combining the lemon juice. There's 6 tablespoons, olive oil, and then I forgot, I did sneak in 1 teaspoon of Dijon mustard, which is what this is. So this is sort of like a Western style dressing, and if you've never used shiokoji before, you'll be in for a treat because it has a very unique flavor. It's very mild, and the mustard helps to mellow it out, and the lemon is also a very good pairing because the lemon has a pretty strong flavor, plus it's acidic. And if you really like lemon, like me, you might want to try putting in some lemon zest like I did. So this is one of my favorite ways to get additional extra lemony flavor in. And the reason why we are going to be pureeing this dressing, 2 reasons actually. One is to break up the little komekoji. So the komekoji is the little rice grains, which if you've ever used shiokoji, you know that there's little rice grains inside. And the reason for that is you want to give the dressing a uniform texture. And then the other thing is to make it an emulsion. So the mustard helps with that. And that'll be it for our first dressing. And if you're wondering what this is here, this is about a cup of barley. I think it's done draining. So barley is a grain, and I use a lot of grains in my cooking. And this is what we're going to be using for our protein and fiber in this salad. So barley is a good source of protein, fiber, and a little bit of fat and some other stuff. And it's a great way to make sure that your salad is filling. So usually when I'm eating salads, I don't tend to get full unless they have some sort of protein in them. So for example, a whole grain, tofu, chicken, or whatever else you like to put in your salads. But whole grains are my, protein of choice after, beans. So beans and grains are my top two choices for plant-based sources of protein, and that's what we're using today. And we're going to do it Japanese style, at least with the dressing. So for the dressing, what we're going to be doing, like I said, is processing the umeboshi here. So this is 3 pieces worth. It depends on if you like shiso umeboshi or shio umeboshi. It's going to be saltier. You can also use honey, the honey type of umeboshi, which is going to be sweeter, on the sweeter side. It's totally up to you. But this is going to be your dressing. And the nice thing about Japanese style dressings, if you have never had a Japanese style dressing before, is that some of them don't have any oil. So they're very light. So aojiso dressing is one of my favorites, and that's made with green shiso leaves, some shoyu or soy sauce. Sometimes it can call for mirin or sake, and then rice vinegar. So I might share that with you one day, actually. Since I have a lot of shiso growing, I might make some. So we're going to go ahead and throw in these umeboshi in. So depending on how sweet you like it, or I mean how sour you like it, you can put in maybe one more if you'd like. And actually I think I will put one more in today. So make sure to suck all the meat off of these if you can. It's very sour, by the way, so it goes good with rice. And if you're just tuning in, we are making 2 Japanese style dressings today. Our cooking theme in the Japanese Cooking Club is shiokoji, so we're using shiokoji in one of the dressings. And then our theme in the Daidokoro community is salads, sarada. So that's why we're doing 2 saradas today. Alright, so the next thing that we're going to do is throw in the 3 tablespoons of rice vinegar, osu, and the usukuchi shoyu. And like I said, this is about 6 tablespoons of toasted sesame. It's a little bit hot still. And we're going to grind it up in here before we process it. Sometimes my processor does not change the angle. Sometimes my food processor doesn't do a good job breaking up all the little pieces, especially when there's other stuff in there. So I'm going to grind it in here first to make sure I get a very even texture in my dressing. So, have you guys ever made a Japanese style dressing before? Let me know in the comments below. I would like to know what you made. So I'm just grinding this right now. It smells very fragrant. By the way, if you've never ground freshly toasted sesame seeds and you like sesame, you'll be in for a treat. So this dressing just needs to be pureed, and then we're almost done with the second dressing. And then all we have to do is just put the salad ingredients together, and then we'll be done. So perfect way to eat more greens and also some grains to be healthy. And if you're wondering what hijiki tastes like, it has a unique flavor. It is a seaweed, and depending on how you season it, it may taste like the seasoning that you're using, or it may taste like hijiki. So today we're putting it in salads. It's not being seasoned that heavily, so we'll be able to enjoy the natural flavor of it. And I think that's about it. Alright, so this looks just about good to me. So that is about maybe 75% of the way ground. And it's good enough. So we're going to go ahead and drop it in here and then process it. Alice is asking if I'm going to be posting the recipes from the past several days, and yes, if you sign up on the waiting list, which I know doesn't make sense for you, Alice, since you're already in the club, but if you sign up on the Japanese Cooking Club waiting list, that's how you get the recipes. Good to have you, by the way. Okay. So here's the first dressing. Actually, I'm going to change the angle. So, you've never had umeboshi and sesame seeds, you might be in for a treat. You need to get a spatula. So here's the first one. We're going to be using this on the mixed greens, actually the hijiki salad, sorry. And now we're just going to go ahead and drop in about half of this, so maybe 1.5 teaspoons of dried hijiki is going to go in here. You always want to squeeze out any excess water. Other good accompaniment, other good things to put into this include maybe some corn or dankon. Dankon is lotus root. It's another thing that you can try putting in there. I'm just going to stir this up a little bit. You can put in some of the cucumber here. We're just going to do about half of it. It's a small salad, so. So we're just doing about half of a cucumber. And then this is just the mixing bowl, so we'll go ahead and transfer it after it's ready. And if you prefer your dressings to be more liquidy, you can always thin it out as well. Alright, so this looks good, and we're going to go ahead and put it on a little salad bowl. And this is our first salad. Cut a little bit more cucumber for some garnish to make it look a little bit more presentable. And then we can put some more hijiki on top if you prefer. And our first salad is done. So what we're going to be doing next is just pureeing this, and then this will be done as well. So here's this salad. What we're going to do is just puree it using my immersion blender, and then this will be ready to use as well. Okay, so you can see it turn into a really nice emulsion right here. And what we're going to be doing is just pouring it over the salad after we put in some of the grains. So we're going to add the barley on right now. Make sure that it's broken up. And this is just straight barley. I didn't season it. You can put in a little bit of salt if you want. You can see it's kind of hot still. And because this dressing is pretty flexible, you can use any grain. You can even use tofu if you want, your protein of choice. And then the salad dressing, you throw in some onions. So I cut some red onions and also some kaiwara daikon, which is radish sprouts. And then I also have some tomatoes, which I put right there. So I'll cut up some tomatoes. And this will be my dinner for today. So I'll throw in some of these. You can also put in maybe some fresh basil or fresh shiso if you have either of those. I put in some of these tomatoes. These are just baby heirloom tomatoes, nice and colorful. And I always cut these into quarters. I recommend that you do the same if you can. So show you what I'm doing over here behind the big bowl. So here's all these tomatoes. I like color in my salads. I don't know about you guys. Makes it a little bit more appetizing. And then we'll top it off with a little bit of kaiwara daikon. Actually, I'm just going to scatter it all around. This I'll add a little bit of a peppery radish kick. If you've never had kaiwara daikon, that's what it does. Actually, put in a couple more orange tomatoes. And we are just about done. So let me know what you guys think. Japanese dressing is very light and full of flavor, obviously, because of the stuff that we're using. Umeboshi packs a punch, so does shiokoji, and it's a very light way to enjoy a salad. So let me know what you guys think. If you have any questions or comments, leave them below. If you would like to join the New Japanese Cooking Club and be the first to know when the doors open, go to JapaneseCookingClub.com to get on the wait list. And all of the recipes that we have been cooking for the last 4 days. Actually, I'm not sure if we're going to put the recipe from Deborah's cookbook. I'll have to ask her about that one first. But for the other 3 days, we will definitely be sharing those for those on the wait list. And I think that's going to be it. Teresa, looks like, I think this is the first time we've met. Great to have you. And hopefully you get a chance to try one of these 2 delicious Japanese style dressings. And that's going to be it for today. Thank you, Matthew, for sharing that. And I think that's going to be about it. And I think we'll do a little bit of a repost of the video. It looks like there are some audio issues still, since I didn't have my usual mic for today, so apologize for that, but I have backup recording, so I think we should be just fine. So thanks again for tuning in, and I'll see you guys in my next video. So, Jana, bye-bye.